Welcome to Stories of Chazal. Here we have a story with Rav Papa, who is one of the later Amoraim. He asked Abaye, who was a little older than him, he asked him, why is it that the Rishonim, the earlier generations, which he presumably is referring to the earlier generations even of the Amoraim, he says, why is it that for them, miracles happen, but for us, they don't happen? And he stated his case. He said, I don't understand, because seemingly, when you look at their learning compared to our learning, their learning seems to be much less. We have a lot more access to certain information. We have a lot more, etc., etc. The Gemara goes through different things that he states his case with. So Abai responded to him. He says, you know what? He says, you may be right with that. He says, however, these people were Moisa Nefesh and Kiddush Hashem. In other words, they gave themselves over to sanctify God's name. And he tells him an example of a story of Rav Ado Ba'ahava. He was actually also one of the early Amoraim, Talmud of Rebbe possibly, Rabbi Yehuda Anasi. And what happened was when there was one instance where he saw a woman, he thought she was a Jewish woman. She was dressed in a not proper way for a Jewish woman, whatever exactly that may be. And he went up to her and he tore it off, he got rid of it. And it ended up happening that he was given a penalty of 400 zuz. And actually he found out there wasn't even a Jewish woman. So the story ends off that Ba'ada Bar Ava said, according to one version, that if you were to just be patient, you would have saved yourself 400 zuz. So that was the story that we're presenting of how he had such a shemaim, such Mrs. Nefesh, he had such giving over of his life for the sake of what he believed was Kiddush Hashem, even though he made a mistake in that scenario. That, as Abaye says, is what exemplifies, and even though the learning may have not been the same, but their given overness to sanctifying God's name was so much beyond, and that's why they were worthy of having these miracles.